Hey everyone.
Hey,
Hey everyone.
hey,
Hey everyone.
happy
Oopsies.
Thursday. Hey.
We were echoing for a second. All right. I think I have everything muted that I need muted. We're going to do our mic check, see how we sound, and then we're going to get into it. Hey Kathy Codes. All right. So first, can you all hear us? And do me and Dorlin sound about the same level? What's up, Sino?
Oh, hey. Good to have you back.
Perfect on the first go?
What?
I'd
No
like to thank
way.
everyone for your dedication. Oh man, yay! All right, so we are doing. What are we doing today? Does anybody know what we're here for today?
I'm excited. I like this topic a lot.
Yeah, mouse, keyboard, and touch accessibility, which is, I feel like, kind of the foundation of accessibility testing. Those are basically the inputs that your testing can be accessed, essentially, for users of assistive technology and users who just need to access whatever content you have. So this is like, damn, we probably should have done this first, maybe, but we're doing it now.
Right? Well, got to make sure everything's operable for us.
Oh, and thank you. Sino just reminded us to put on the closed captioning. That is a part of our stream. I'm going to go ahead and put closed captioning on now. So we'll take a second to do that. Let some more people come into the room. And then I'm going to pull the PowerPoint up and we're going to get to it. All right. So to put on closed captioning, I have to go to. I needed a shortcut to like remember what I have to do for this. Turn on stream captioner. Where is it again? I always forget
Oh,
how to do this. Let me see. Stream closed captioner. There we go. Continue the Twitch. Click to start. Yay, our captions are up now. So if you need captions, they're there. Hey Liz, how's it going?
hey, Liz.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start my shared screen and we're going to get started with mouse, keyboard, and touch accessibility. Unless anyone has some news to share, you can share it in the chat. Let us know what you've been up to, how you've been, and we'll read them as we go through our slides. Today will be pretty chill. We're not going to be doing really any coding. We're going to do a little bit of testing at the end. Dorlin is going to talk about what we're going to test. But mostly we'll just be talking about the mouse, the keyboard, and touch and showing you some things for examples through some different websites. Ooh, Cinotech is working on the DHS Trusted Tester. I saw you put that in the group. Good luck. It's a fun one. You're about to be literally an expert on testing. How are you
Oh,
liking it? I'm
man.
curious.
All right, let's see. Got all my tabs brought up. Again, Google decided it needed to restart itself. That was a scary moment.
All right, now I'm just pulling up our slides, and I think we're good to go with the slides. Oh, also, Dorlin has a cool shirt today. What does your shirt say, Dorlin? I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah, it says this Barbie is inclusive. And inclusive is written in little like rhinestone beads that are actually readable uncontracted braille and says inclusive. So this Barbie is inclusive.
Yeah, your mic
And
is like blocking the Barbie part,
oh,
but we can see it pretty well. It's pretty cool. And is that the website that we're going to test today?
yeah, we're going to test the website I got this t-shirt from. It's a woman who herself has a visual impairment and I believe was a fashion designer before she started losing her vision. And so she makes very fashionable clothes with readable braille on it. And you guys know how I love my braille. And we mentioned, I think it was at our last week's session, that I was trying to buy a shirt online and had a lot of issues with my experience on my mobile experience rather with that site. I was able to get through it, but it's kind of a mess. So we're going to try it out on Firefox, the browser, today and see how it works out. No, I don't want to put any of the blame on this designer and her website. She's used like a Shopify account, which so many small businesses use to promote their product and to sell their product, and kind of really speaks to how important it is that these platforms help these creators have accessible sites. You need to set people up for success because they're not actually building these sites. They're just using, a template. And so we're going to check that out and how it all works and
Nice.
see all her cool stuff in the process.
Yes, I love that. And yeah, for smaller businesses, we're not roasting you to be mean or
Mm-mm.
anything. This is more like for learning. Now, the big companies, they can get all the smoke from us.
Yeah, that's who we save the heat for.
I don't. Are you using the Twitch robot that talks to you? Because a lot of people are saying that's such a cool shirt. Kathy Coates said such a cool shirt. Matt Campbell said lovely t-shirt. Liz said awesome t-shirt. Kathy said time to go shopping. Oh, Sino also said they've been doing the DHS Trusted Tester for a month, and they think that it's great. It's been helpful paired with Anki, which is our digital flashcards. I feel like I'm learning a lot. That's really cool. Yeah, I learned so much from doing the DHS Trusted Tester. All right, so let's get into it. Also, let me know if you can hear a lot of rustling and banging in the background because someone is cooking in my house and it might be distracting, and I'll let them know. So just let me know in the chat if you hear anything too loud. I'm trying not to wear headphones because I have sensory issues and I want to be comfortable. All right. Input methods for web content. When we're talking about input methods, we're just talking about the way the user is accessing or interacting with your website. And there are many different ways that you can do that. Traditionally, we think about the mouse. The mouse is our apparatus, our tool that we use to kind of move through a website, click on things, expand things, do all of those actionable steps. But there are other ways for people who don't want to or can't use a mouse to also access all of that information and functionality. So if we can't use a mouse, we're probably using a keyboard, we're using touch, we're using our voice to navigate, or some type of assistive technology that's just emulating a keyboard or a mouse. So most assistive technologies, and if we think about a screen reader, for example, all it's doing is emulating or imitating a mouse and using the same things that, not a mouse, I'm sorry, the keyboard, and using the same things that the keyboard would use. And from what I read, most assistive technology is using the keyboard pretty much to navigate. Right, Dorlin? Am I right about that?
I think a lot of it does, but there's a lot of it that doesn't too. But if your assistive technology is going to work with the keyboard, if your site works with it, it's going to work with those other assistive technologies as well, like something that's speech to text or Dragon, for instance, where you're going to be operating your computer with speech or an eye gaze technology. All those things,
Mouse.
if it's keyboard accessibility or if it's keyboard accessible, those technologies should be able to use it as well.
Right, exactly. Because really, they're trying to access everything that a keyboard would be accessing, that you should be able to access with a keyboard or with a mouse. Like an eye gaze is kind of just using the mouse really with your eye gaze and things like that. So when we're talking about assistive technology, what types of assistive technology can we use instead of a mouse if we list some, just to have it? I'm going to also be taking notes. We're doing this study group style like we usually do, and I'm just going to be taking notes and adding some in here. So we use screen readers, and those are for people with migraines or blindness or low vision. Dragon.
Cognitive impairments as well. All sorts of uses
I
of
think you
screen
went.
readers.
You're muted. Might have to tap your mic. I don't know what just happened, but yeah.
I didn't touch
I
it
lost
though.
you. Or did I lose? I must have. I think hold on. Oh
I still hear you.
no.
No one
Okay.
hears
It's
me.
my speaker just died. I need to plug it in. It's always something. No. Actually, I have to get up and go get the charger for it. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
All right. Well, and I do not have our Twitch TTS, the text to speech app or web app open today, which normally would allow me to hear what you guys are saying. So I'm not hearing you right now, but I'm sure you're having lovely conversation there while we wait for Africa to come back. I
I'm
chose not
back.
to have it going on because I only had so much. I've got a lot of things needing to come in through my ears today, and something had to go. Welcome back, Africa. I was explaining why I'm not using Twitch TTS today, and just simply that I'm not.
Some source.
Oh man, I'm using like an Ounce portable like messed up speaker for my desktop because I don't have real speakers yet. Sorry about that. Bluetooth speakers, they just died. All right.
Oh, but we're back. You're back.
We're back. Yes, Kathy, it's not a study session without technical hiccups. Exactly.
That's how you know it's going to be a good one.
We're making up for our mics working on the first try. Okay, screen readers. We have Dragon Speech, right?
Yeah. It's going to be speech to text, controlling your
Speech to
computer with
text.
speech.
And it's using the keyboard basically the same way you would use a tab to go through all the elements, right?
Yeah, it's
And you
cool.
can
You know, you
select.
can use it to like bring up different types of elements, and it'll kind of list them like, you know, you've got links 1 through 10, and it'll give you a list of those, and then you can say, you know, the second one, and it'll navigate to that. I mean, I don't know what the exact speech commands are, but that's generally, I don't know, I think it's really cool how that works. And it's also going to be using those like accessible names for form fields that screen readers are reading to blind people like me. They're using those names to be able to navigate to those form fields. The computer can understand that, then the Dragon user can then navigate to that form field by, you know, using the accessible name.
Kathy said sip and puff. Sip and puff is using your mouth by sipping in or puffing out, and that's how you select things. Switch devices, which is something you would just plug into your computer. If you have dexterity or weakness or tremors, you may not want to use a mouse, and you may be just tapping a switch that is going through each thing. AAC is a communication device that people use to speak out loud. So they may be touching using a touch device to tap on icons. And there's a lot more that we could add to this.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk about the mouse. The mouse, I think, is one of those things we don't really think about because a lot of our websites that we're designing, if we're using something to build it, this kind of comes standard with it if you're using like a library of some sort in building. But you can mess around with all of these values. So they're just good things to think about as background. So when we have a mouse, we're thinking about, I would summarize as 3 actions, which is clicking, hovering, and canceling. So if we're navigating with a mouse, we kind of want to make sure, A, we know where the mouse is on the page, that we can select things, and that if we are selecting something, we can easily cancel that click. If you are, mostly able-bodied, even as an able-bodied person who can click and doesn't have tremors or weakness or anything that will cause your hand to move, often we accidentally click on things and we can kind of hold down. We like accidentally click, but we can hold down and then move away from it and let go, and you're not selecting it. So you never want to have anything kind of happen where you're just clicking and automatically an action happens. So that's a good example of that. Liz put in the chat an example of switches, and I'm actually going to click on it. I think that would be a cool thing to kind of see. And this is in my former life as an occupational therapist. These are one of the things that I would order. And these are just big, round, colored switches that you can tap on. And that's how you interact with the page, basically. It works kind of like either a tab or a click. So there's 2 switches sometimes, and you can change what the input does, essentially. So a lot of times we use this for like children, or like, really if tapping is all you have, we'll use a switch. Okay, let's talk about clicking in particular and target size. So when we're talking about target size, we're just talking about the area. I'm kind of moving my mouse around at the top of the page, and wherever I click, wherever I put my mouse is my target area that I can kind of click in and select something. So why would target size matter? Like, who would be affected by target size of how small something is? What if this bold button right here that I'm clicking on, I could only click on it if I'm within the confines of the B itself. So I would really have to have some good hand-eye coordination, right, to get in there and click it. But you can see that lovely Google Docs, which is the website that I'm using for this, because this is just what I use. It's convenient. It's highlighting a whole big area that I know that I can click inside. So Kathy said, people with mobility issues, it can be hard to be so precise, right? Like if you have any type of tremor in your hand, any weakness, any range of motion issues, it can be really hard. Also, low vision, right? If you have low vision, it may be hard to precisely get where you need to go, but if you know that you have a general area you can land, it does make it a lot easier. Liz said, sorry, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say also with low vision, if you're using screen magnification and your button or whatever is very small, it might be hard to even locate.
Yep. Liz said, yes, nerve pain. Also, yeah, nerve pain can suck. First time in the chat. What's up, Lulu G's? They said visual issues, small icons are hard to read, hard to see and hit. Yep. Small icons are like a little annoying, right? These are pretty small, but they get highlighted pretty nicely, I'd say. So for those who can't see the screen, they're basically these tiny icons, like where the B and the italicized I and the underlined U, like things you would find in your when you're making a PowerPoint. They're really small, but you can get to them because it does highlight it all the way around in like a nice gray circle, gray square, I mean. Alrighty.
One other point though is that was kind of just mentioned, but It's not just for people with disabilities. If it's a really small click size, just a normal user is going to be annoyed and have problems with it.
Right. Yeah. Everything we're talking about, honestly, is for everyone today specifically. But the people who are the most impacted, right, are the ones that we really care about, because at least it'll take us a little longer maybe, which is annoying. So in general, just you hit it for everyone, but they're good things to think about. Matt Campos said, one example, Instagram, all the buttons to do things are very small. I've never noticed that. I'm about to go on Instagram right now really quickly on my phone just to suss it out. Some things you never think of. Oh, the buttons are pretty small on the bottom, especially.
One things
Brought
we've
that to.
talked about with just like that mouse and the click area, the target area, when we talked about accessible forms, was that when you've got that programmatic label on there, and if someone is going to click on the name of the field or in the box where they're entering for the field, they're still going to get into it.
Yep. My favorite thing I learned.
That's a really cool thing.
Hey, developed by
Oh,
IKEA. What's up? Developed by IKEA said, hey y'all.
hey, welcome back.
Okay, let's talk about hovering. Hovering. So this is something random I've never thought about. I'm not gonna lie. So I found this pretty entertaining to learn about myself. But I never thought about the fact, well, I never thought about hovering as a thing in general. You know what it's there and that it's a thing, but you never think deep further than the first step of it exists and I use it. But let's talk about visual indicators for hovering. So this is just how the web works. So one thing that I was reading about was how whenever you go over a link, the cursor should change to something else other than just a pointer. So I'm pointing right now to background, for example, and my cursor is changing to the little hand. We all know that this happens, but know that that is a standard now. Notice it as a change. But yeah, that's one of those things that is like a hard and fast rule, I would say, for accessibility, especially.
And so you just hovered over a link. Can you also hover over a button to show how there's the difference? Because I also found this
Oh, I'm sorry.
fascinating.
This is
It's something
actually a
I
button.
okay. I thought I'd read it was the hand. I vaguely remember this from my sighted days. The cursor changing when you're on over different things.
I
So let's
apologize. I
highlight the other
misspoke.
one too.
It's a button. A button. So for a link, let's find a link. Let's go to one. All right. This is our web accessibility study group page that I'm currently on. Our GitHub page. So here's a link. It turns into a hand too. They all turn into hands. I think links and buttons turn into hands, but text turns into the little line.
Yeah, I think from what I was reading over the weekend, I was thinking they were supposed to be distinct. I wonder if on that same page you can find on GitHub, is there an example of a button versus a link? Do they look the
Yeah, they're all
same?
the hand, but
I wonder if they changed that.
it could be Google Chrome. I don't know. It could be the browser as a
Interesting.
default.
Yeah.
Does anybody know about that? Any of our
Yeah, let's study
developers
group
know
this.
more information? Study group style. Matt Campo said, "Oh, there's a very cool media query for detecting if a device can hover in CSS. Developer.mozilla.org/en-us/docs/web/css/at media/hover." Hopefully someone can remember that if they can't see it on there. I'm sorry. But let's just click on it for funsies. Hover. CSS media
Yeah.
feature can be used to test whether the user's primary input mechanism can hover over elements. But yeah, even on this, you can see all the hands are. It's just hands. Thank you, Matt Campos. I'll put that
Yeah, that's
actually
cool.
in the PowerPoint itself for fun.
Perfect. Then I can grab it later.
All right, let me double check if I missed anything for hovering. So, I like to do my studying live.
One thing I remember vaguely about Hover was that, sometimes the buttons themselves or the links themselves might change color, and that you need to
Yes.
make sure that when that change is happening, you're having proper color contrast ratios both between the change that's happening so that people can detect that change. So you need to make sure that you're still adhering to like the 4.5 to 1, and it also needs to adhere to the color contrast standards for whatever it changes to. You can't like make it something that someone can't see. So I think that's a point in Hover.
Okay, I'm gonna find a button that changes. Oh, well, here's a good example of links. This is the shark. This is surfing the internet with Jaws. Dorlin told me about it. So this is Jaws Screen
Yeah.
Reader's website, but this is like a support. It has a bunch of random stuff on it. I don't think this is the actual thing. I don't know,
No,
but
I think it is. It's a website designed by Freedom Scientific for JAWS users when they're learning how to use JAWS to have different examples of elements, so you can learn how to use your screen reader effectively. And I believe within their training, they actually have little exercises for you to go through and use this site with. But it's a nice site that they've created that we can use to look at different elements on.
cool. Oh, Mad Compo said there's a debate about the hand cursor being used for links versus buttons. I don't remember what exactly is the reasoning, but there has to do with the analogy from the real world with using your hand to activate the thing. I'll try to find the article about that. Oh, thank you. I am riveted by this actually. I don't know why.
Very cool. Thank you, Matt Campos.
And I think Liz Ginger put in the CSS for hovering, which is a semicolon hover curly brackets cursor semicolon pointer semicolon and curly bracket.
You need to put that in the presentation too, the
Oh yeah, let me
slideshow.
put this in
That's
here.
perfect. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
We were hoping we'd have some folks who knew CSS well enough to actually have some CSS because I know for myself, I'm a little rusty from when I originally learned it, and it was already a little bit of a difficult one for me to grasp since I couldn't double check my work. Although I did find it something that when I was learning it, I was able to like understand how I needed to do it for the most part. So it can be done. I just don't remember how right now. So thank you, Liz.
Alrighty, back to our shenanigans. Let's talk about canceling. Canceling, something I also never thought about. We're going to talk about down events, abort or undo, up reversal, and essential, which are pretty much all the things that canceling are all the components of canceling, right? Something like that. We're going to learn together. I know that a down event is clicking down. So the first rule of canceling or something that happens as you're canceling would be if I'm going to click on the B here, like I said, that was my first example because it's the one thing I remember, is when I click down, B is not activated. This bold button is not activated. I can move away and then remove, right? So I can abort or undo whatever I'm talking about or whatever I'm clicking on. I can't remember what an up reversal is, so I'm going to look it up really fast. These are like new
Okay. Well, I
terms.
know one other thing with that down click or that down action, it's making sure that the action isn't going to happen until the up event. that's the listener that you're putting in there.
Oh, okay. So the down event is when you click down, the abort or undo is moving away. The up reversal is whatever was happening, the up event, right? The thing that you want to happen when you click reverses anything that the down event. I'm explaining this so jumbled, but basically the up reversal is when you move your hand away, and that's the thing that's happening when you let go of the mouse, right? Okay.
I didn't mean to
And
click that. So you
what'd you
hold
say?
on and move away. I said, I didn't mean to click that. So you hold on and move your mouse away.
Right. So up reversal is the up event versus any outcome of the preceding down event. So the up event is just that up event, the thing that happens. And then essential is completing the function on the down event is essential. So you basically have to complete whatever it is. You have to go down and up for anything to happen. But an example of something that doesn't work that way and is an exception is a piano keyboard. Because you're literally hitting it and it's making a sound no matter what you do. Because that is the function of a keyboard, kind of. I mean, a piano keyboard, I should say.
Yeah, you want the event to occur on the down event.
And I think the other exceptions are for things that emulate a keyboard. Because with a keyboard, you just have the backspace. You know, if you hit it, it's over with. All right. Well, now you know about canceling, and so do I.
Right? We learn together.
All right. Let's go on to my favorite. This one's my favorite. This one, I might not have to Google anything. We'll see. That's probably a lie, but let's talk about keyboard accessibility. This is me and Dorland's jam. She's the real expert here.
I don't know about expert, but I do love me some keyboard accessibility.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, keyboard accessibility is like 80% of web accessibility testing, for real. Why? Because anything that I do on the computer or laptop or whatever should be able to be done without a mouse. It should be able to be done with the keyboard. And that there's no exception to that rule, I don't think. Right?
They had one, like, if you were doing like, if the like isn't specific, if the route isn't specific, like if you had a race car driving emulator where you were like having to run. I can't remember the exception I ran across when I did, but I do remember there being a couple where it was like, if there's no way that this could be done with a keyboard due to the nature of the content, then it doesn't have to be. But there were very few exceptions. And really, I feel like your goal should be to not have any exceptions. You want everybody to be able to access all your stuff on whichever device or input method they're using.
Right. Yeah. So there are some, The exceptions would be literally so specific, but in our world in which we're working in, which is like, we're in the web right now. We're in simulation of the web. Everyone else who's doing really specific things, I give you a pass, but I'm still like side-eyeing you if you don't have a version that can be used without it. That's how I feel. Okay. So taking this away, for all the homies in the house who know about keyboard accessibility, what are some considerations for the keyboard? Developed by IKEA said, ooh, this is what I've been preaching about this preaching about this at work for months. Okay, what are you preaching? Tell us. Preach to us, because we are the sermon. Like we're in the crowd, we're in the pupil, the pits, whatever they call it. I'm ready to hear a word. Mad Compo said they found the thing that's talking about cruisers. So they found it. It talks that buttons shouldn't have the hand cursor, but links do. Doesn't give a reason for links though. Okay.
Is that word cruiser?
Cursor?
Oh, it was just cursor. Is that you? All right.
I
I know
think
there's cruisers as well, and I think I'm getting confused.
buttons shouldn't have a hand cursor. From 2016, what were you doing in 2016? Oh my gosh, that was probably the most lit year I'd ever had in life. 2016. It's like 10 years ago. That's wild.
Yeah, that was the time. I barely had any jaw skills in 2016. I'd only been blind about 2 years. I've barely used a computer. I like relied on my iPhone and the voiceover knowledge I'd picked up along the way. I had no idea what the possibilities were at the time.
Well, I'm going to guess that Xerxes, you thought that Dorlin had the Twitch TS talk thing on, but she doesn't. So she's not going to hear how hilarious that would sound in a robot voice. But Xerxes said, cursor? I can be a cursor. Fudge, fiddlesticks, motor, forker, bull shrimp. Oh my gosh. I excuse my
Oh, that was fun
language.
too.
Developed by IKEA said, my biggest thing has been tabbing through a site, and the natural flow from link to link needs to make sense since in relation to where things are on the page. Yes. Yes. We're gonna talk about it. Ooh, I'm getting on my pulpit today. I love talking about keyboard accessibility for some reason, because it's like the easiest thing to fix. You immediately see results, and you help a lot of people. We talked about all the people who are unable to use a mouse. They're going to be using a keyboard or something that acts as a keyboard, right? So that's a lot of the population. There's also, like I always like to say, power users who really do not want to use the mouse. They want to use it as little as possible because it is faster to have keyboard commands and use them. One day I'll get there, but I am not there. So for keyboard, there are some considerations, right? These are the ones we want to keep in mind. Tab order. So if I'm using the keyboard, I'm tabbing through all of my selectable links, and they need to make sense and flow visually the way that they are on the page. So tab orders jumping all around the page. Now I don't understand the structure of the page, right? We are going to talk about visible focus on selectable elements. So making sure that there's a ring around things as I tab. So Dorlin maybe won't see this ring around it. But me, if I'm, tabbing visually, I need to keep pace of where I am on the page because the mouse isn't doing it for me. So I'm going to go through all of these and give you all examples. So let's go to tabbing. First, let's get on the same planet and talk about what should be tabbable. And this is something when I first learned it way back when, where I actually created a website that was so bad. This was before I knew what web accessibility even was really. But I made everything tabbable. Everything on my page was tabbable. So what should be tabbable? Anybody in the chat want to try out some of our active well, this is an active recall because we've talked about it a little bit, I guess. Kathy Code said interactive elements, ? Yes. Interactive elements. So let's go to, what's a good page to go to that has a bunch of stuff on it? All right. Let's just go to this switches page. What'd you say? You gonna say something?
Oh, I was just going to say you go back to the JAWS page. Where are you trying? If you're doing do whichever page you're doing. I was just going to suggest because
this one doesn't have a lot on it, but It's still a good one. I'll do it. The Jaws page. I'm a Jaws stan, so I'm with it. So the only thing on here, what on here should I be able to tab through? So Kathy Code said like text fields and buttons. Yes, text fields and buttons. Liz said all form fields and UI interactive elements and tabbable in a logical order. Yes. So this only has links. So we're just going to go, I'm going to hit the tab button now. Tab. First link, tab. Second link, tab. Tabbing all the way down. And it's going in, it's not jumping all over the page. It's actually following the flow of the page. So I got through all the tabs. Let's go to here. AbleNet.
It is
Net Inc.
it is preserving meaning and operability.
Let's see if we can even tab on this website. Let's go. All right. So the first tab that we get to is home, but it should have probably been somewhere up here where the navigation bar is. Let's see where it takes us next. Switches, featured items. Okay, I can go through all of these. All right, I'm not that mad at it, except that we just skipped the whole navigation bar. Does that mean the navigation bar isn't keyboard accessible? No, it is keyboard accessible. It's just not in the right tab order. Kane3114, first time in chat. What's up? Thanks for hanging out with us. They said forget attribute tab at index with any value other than 0 or -1. Oh, interesting. That's literally what we're about to talk about next. Thank you for saying that. And we'll talk about why. And that is also something that I did that was dumb on a few of my blog pages when I was like trying to make my own stuff and not understanding how things work. But I was just like, this works when I try it. I wish I still had these websites up, but I stopped paying for everything because I just haven't been using it and it felt like a waste of money to keep it going. But all right, what should be tabbable? We figured it out. Tab index, no positive values. Why? So that was the next thing we were going to talk about. Why should a tab index, which is what we put in the, is this CSS, HTML? This is CSS, right? Tab index? I don't know. I could be wrong.
Tab index will be in your HTML.
HTML.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the important part of it, putting it in the HTML instead of using your CSS for positioning, because all of your assistive technologies are going to be looking at where it is in the HTML.
Yep. Kathy said, yep, HTML. So why should we not have any positive values? I'm going to wait for the chat to see if they... Oh, so Liz put in the chat dquniversity.com's. So spoiler alert, DQ University... DEC Houston University. I don't know how to say it, but
I think it's DQ. I always have to look it up. I forget which way. I think it's DQ University.
DQ. I am a DQ huge fan, and that's what I used to study for a lot of this stuff. But they do have a spoiler somewhere on their website where they really don't want their stuff public. You're not supposed to like show it during streams. So that's why I don't click on or show any of their examples. But if you go to dquniversity.com, sign up for one of their courses. If you have like I always say, if you have a disability, it's free. They have a scholarship. It's amazing. I learned so much from them. They have examples of everything we're talking about. They have good examples and bad examples, and I wish that I could share it, but it is a paid thing. And everyone knows I don't talk about anything that's paid because I love the free resources for the community. So, if I'm saying it's worth the money, it really is. That one would be worth it, and it's free if you have a disability. So. All right. No tab index positive. Let's see if anybody... Kathy Go said, it's just free for a year, right? With the scholarship. I'm just cramming right now. LOL. I don't think it's just for a year. I think it's just free. Yeah, because it's a one-time payment to access, I think.
Unless they have different levels of their scholarship, I think it's once you're in, once they've granted you the scholarship, I think you have access for, I don't think there's a time limit on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Meg Campos, LOL. I am not going to say that out loud, but I hear you. Let's see. All right, I don't think anyone answered the question, so I'll answer it. Tab indexes with positive values are not good because it knocks it out of the tab order. It pretty much just messes with the tab order. And I'm gonna double check my resource so that I'm telling you the exact right thing, unless Dorlin remembers.
I kind of do. While you look it up, I'll give my best shot at an answer.
Yeah.
When you're using your like native semantic HTML elements, anything that's interactable, your form fields, your links, your buttons, all that stuff is going to automatically have a tab index of 0. So it's in your tab index, it's going to go to naturally. If you set something with a positive value, it's going to override all of that, and you're going to end up having your tab order start with your positive values. And once it gets through your positive values, then it'll loop back into your zeros, which if it does, I think you can actually create keyboard traps for yourself using positive values. But essentially, you're moving things out of the natural order they should be in. So someone might end up tabbing to something you've put a positive value on first, not expecting you to jump there on your page, then tabbing through other things and then wanting to get back to that element and not realizing they can't tab to it. They have to get back into that funky tab order to get to it. Instead of being like, oh, it's the next field, I should be able to tab once, and not going there. So that's my best and rambling answer to that one.
Nope, you're exactly right. I have nothing to add. Liz said it is 1 year. Oh no. Really? I'm sorry, I might have given you all the wrong information. I am not sure if it's 1 year or not, but it sounds like 2 people said it is, so it probably is right, in that it's 1 year. So get that 1 year in. I must be almost at the end of my 1 year, I guess. That makes me
take advantage of it.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
so
just like,
much
dang, I
info
need
there.
to actually finish for real then. Okay, cool. All right. Let's talk about focus indicators. Focus indicators, my favorite thing because it is the easiest thing to catch, explain, and fix. And if I say it, they get it. A lot of websites, especially if they're custom made, typically with like a library or something, all these things would have focus indicators where you don't have to really worry about it, like React or Vue or anything like that, where you're doing web stuff. But here is an example of what I'm talking about. If we're going through this website, you can see that everything is highlighted as I'm going through it. I'm not confused about where I am, except for, oh, I see. That's why I was doing that. That's interesting. I was hovering at the same time, so it kept this orange, but I thought it was a glitch. So this one is pretty good. I can see that it's orange and that it's going through as I tab. So if we're tabbing the way that I'm tabbing and there's a color, the part that you also have to remember is that the contrast and the style should change as you go through everything. So it should be probably a different color than whatever color it currently is, especially if you're going through it, or there should be a ring around it. So those are 2 ways that you can kind of change the indication visually that you're going through something with the tab button. Or both.
And making sure that color is not the only means you're using to indicate that change.
Right. So when I say changing the styles, for example, some people only have it change based on the color. So let's say, for example, I'm hitting, I don't have an example of that. But for example, if I'm touching this, like this should be changing color. My mouse cruiser is on Quick Talker Freestyle. I know that this is a link because my cursor is changing, but this should also probably change color or change like the style. Because if you only change the color, if I'm colorblind, then I don't know anything has really changed. That's why a ring around is like the best standard. But on some websites, because of their style guide, they don't like focus indicators. They think it's ugly. I think it's cool personally, but you know, a lot of designers will be like, I don't want it, it's ugly. So if you're only changing the color, then you should probably change the font too, or the size.
Or underline it, or put a ring around it, or box around it, like you said. You know, it's cool. People being able to access your website. That's what's cool. But I found one thing interesting about this studying was that, you know, there's kind of this, you know, visual enhancement built into our browsers when you're tabbing through these elements. And that's kind of considered enough, like it's kind of compliant, but you really should be enhancing those visual styles with your CSS. And you absolutely should not be doing what you just mentioned and removing them altogether.
Mad Compo said the React libraries are usually div soups, so accessibility in most of the ones I've seen is usually bad. Yes, I am definitely not saying that the accessibility is good, but I feel like in a lot of cases they may help you with some basic standards, but I could be wrong about that, so I'm going to be quiet about it. All right, let's see what's next. Keyboard shortcuts. The only thing I'm really going to say about keyboard shortcuts before giving it off to Dorlin, because she is the queen of keyboard shortcuts, is the standard rule to remember would be, if you are going to add a keyboard shortcut to your website, consider what keyboard shortcuts already exist within a browser. And also consider how a screen reader would interact with those keyboard shortcuts, because a lot of their shortcuts may override whatever shortcut you've put there if you don't consider that. So what do you think, Dorlin? What's up with shortcuts in general and screen readers' interaction with shortcuts? I also would like to put here some common screen reader shortcuts, just so people can keep those in mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's not that complicated. You covered it really well. You don't want to interact with known browser shortcuts or Windows shortcuts or whatever, and certainly not with assistive technology shortcuts, which obviously aren't super well known out there. So we'll let the chat start rambling those off while I finish my answer. But if you're putting in keyboard shortcuts, chances are I can't access them unless you've done them, in a way that doesn't interfere with what I've already got going on. And you definitely need to make people aware of what those shortcut keys are in some way, so that if they do want to use them, they can. There's one interesting thing about screen readers I'll bring up, is that there actually is a command that's like a pass-through command. So I can do this command and then I can press the keyboard shortcut for it and have it interact as if my screen reader wasn't there in the in-between. But I did not learn that command until I was a few months into auditing, actually, I think. I think I'd learned it initially when I'd gone through JAWS training, but it didn't stick so much. So I think it's something that very few users use, if they even know about it.
Okay.
So do we have some shortcut keys coming in, or should I start going through
questions.
some of those?
We have some questions and some nice resources that I want to cut to, and then we're going to come back to screen reader shortcuts, because I may not have heard you multitasking if you did share any. Did you?
No, I said I would
Okay, I was just making sure. I heard you in the last part.
the chat to fill in. I'll fill in the gaps.
Okay, cool. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go back up to some of the comments later when we are debriefing, but I want to get to some of them that were talking about shortcuts. Xerxes said, "Oh God, keyboard shortcuts on the web are such a poop show." And Mad Campos had a question. Do screen readers override more standard shortcuts like Control plus F to find? Because you can.
No, those are still, I think most of our screen readers have taken into account the system operating keyboard shortcuts, so I'm always going to be able to like Control C, Control V to copy and paste. JAWS doesn't use any of those. I can still use Control F and Control P to print, for example, all those sort of things. JAWS doesn't interfere with those. I don't use NVDA as much, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't interfere with any of those. It's like they've taken those into account, and your browser shortcuts to some extent, I think, and then are just trying to work with it.
So really we go back to the same stuff we keep saying over and over again, which is don't mess with the sauce. The sauce is delicious already for the most part. Like, leave it alone. Don't change anything that has already been put there, because the things that exist already I feel like they've already, figured it out. Xerxes said to that question, yes, JAWS hooks into Control F to offer JAWS find rather than browser find. NVDA leaves Control F alone and requires you to hit Control NVDA plus F to do an accessible find, as Control F doesn't actually accessibly move the cursor. Also, JAWS generally lets you use web app native keyboard shortcuts if you first disable the virtual buffer without needing the pass-through gesture.
That's true. You can turn off your virtual cursor on a web page, and you're basically disabling all of your shortcut keys there. So I turn off my virtual cursor, and I can no longer hit H for heading, for example. But if you add a shortcut key that was H, when I hit it, it would, I think, perform that action. Although don't use H because that's
Headings.
Yeah, H for headings, pretty standard.
So I think some common keyboard shortcuts, for example, right? H would be one. That's an example of one. Is that a keyboard? That's a shortcut, right? So H for headings. G for
Do we have others?
graphics or images. L for something. No, that's not for lists. Is it?
It isn't JAWS. L for lists.
L for list structures. What'd you say?
Sorry, I spoke over you. R for regions, like our navigation region, our main region, our footer, that we've all used with or via semantic HTML.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of them. I think, you need to be careful and are probably best off not using. It's probably better to use keys with modifiers. I don't know that for sure. So that's just me theorizing, because like an Alt plus one of my letter keys is much likely or less likely to be used than one of the other keys. I think it's just gotta be careful with shortcut keys, and I don't exactly understand or know where you would start when deciding what to use and how to use it.
Right. Xerxes said, I always forget the JAWS ones. NVDA has L for lists, K for links, V and U for visited and unvisited links, but I forget how JAWS handles that. Yeah, I feel like they're pretty similar, but I think the main thing would be, like letters and things that are shortcuts. Just think about what you want your shortcuts to be, and probably don't make them like one letter. That might be just me thinking about it out loud. One letter might be already taken for something else.
Yep. Or even a number. I can use 1 to navigate by heading level 1s, 2 for heading level 2s, 3 for, and so on. I think up till 6. After that, it kind of cuts off, but.
All right. So let's talk about traps. Traps are, other than not being accessible at all, right? Which is like, it just doesn't happen when you get in there. Oh, also, I forgot. So Liz put in Ben Meyer's website, and Ben Myers is an accessibility guy at, I'm pretty sure, Microsoft. And their website has a bunch of links on it that have really cool and very good visibility. So it's when you hover over it, it like highlights in yellow like a highlighter would, like from the bottom to the top of all of the letters. So it's kind of like a little visual you can kind of see. This is a good example of
What color is the text in?
Black. Yeah, this
Nice.
is, I don't, I haven't done the the contrasting, but I'm pretty sure this checks. All right. So thanks. So I really like that example. It's just a good one. And Cersei said, also the general consensus is to turn virtual buffers off in hotkey heavy web apps like Twitter and hope that the web app gives you sufficient info. Because we get more and more really complicated web apps, knowing how to do this, like JAWS plus Z and JAWS, NVDA plus space and NVDA, has become more and more necessary to keep up. Xerxes also said that way people can use single letter hotkeys and often do. Oh, and then Liz said, try menu dark theme. Oh, let's see. Menu dark theme. Ooh, I like this one better. Why? Nice. Okay, traps. Let me get back on topic to traps. This is our 30-minute warning for ourselves. We might go past 30 minutes, but we're going to try not to. I think we're like almost there. We're going we're going at a good clip. Traps. Traps happen when you're tabbing through content with the keyboard. So using the tab, I'm having a good time. I'm getting through my website. And then what happens? I get trapped in between 3 elements and I cannot escape it using the escape button, using any button that I can think of that would get me out, like Shift Tab, which allows me to go backwards. I wish I had an example of a keyboard trap, but I don't. But yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. If you're getting into something, a lot of the times keyboard traps happen, and I actually don't know the technical reason why, other than, does anyone know the technical reason why why a keyboard trap would happen? Xerxes, tell us. Matt Campos, somebody.
I feel like
Kathy,
it's when you're trying to manage
Kathy?
that focus order with your positive values, your positive tab index values. It's like when you're overly trying to manage things or trying to manage users' focus. Probably custom widgets are probably one of the ones that are big, offenders when it comes to this one as well.
Matt Campbell said one example is a modal, so you keep the user in the modal. Oh, yes. That's a great example. That is such a good example. So when you have a pop-up and you stay in the pop-up and you can't get out of it, or you have a pop-up and you get out of the pop-up before you start going behind the pop-up when you're tabbing and you can't get back into the pop-up. Like you keep them inside and not traveling all around. Okay. So, but why does that happen? Like I've always wondered how, because a lot of the websites that I test, they'll have a pop-up and then I'll tab past the done or next button that would allow the user to go to the next screen. And instead of it popping me back to the top of the pop-up, it takes me out of the pop-up behind the pop-up where the page is. But the modal, the pop-up is still there. So I'm just navigating behind it, but I can't really see anything behind what's on there because the pop-up's still up there. So developed by IKEA said embedded objects like carousels and drop-down menus. Yep. Those you can often get trapped in. So I think you're talking about like a drop-down menu if you're doing like, let's see if I can show y'all. Like, for example, are any of these drop-downs? Right. So something like this. Let me see if I can tab through these with my keyboard. You know what? Today's not the day that I find out that this is inaccessible. I refuse. I'm sure there's a way to get up here, but essentially just going through here, and then you can't get out of here without clicking something, and you can't use the escape button. Liz said modals can get you trapped via bad JavaScript. Messing with something you're not supposed to mess with. Kane said, I think about JavaScript managed keyboard interactions badly implemented. Sad face. Or never ending load feed. Sad face. Xerxes said, keyboard traps are usually a symptom of somebody trying to do the right thing, but not quite dotting all the I's. Modals are by far the most common. A lot of the time, the idea is to make sure the user doesn't get in that situation, but focus management might be broken and take the user to the wrong place. Mad Compo said, oh, it is just because until very recently, HTML didn't have a way to make parts of the page not tabbable. That all changed with the dialogue element and the inert attribute. Okay. And then, Liz coming through with a website that has that has traps. We're gonna do it. Mad Campo said, oh, the roast, love it. Oh, what's up, Monday? First time in chat. They said, greetings from Seattle, currently in the middle of an audit, and it's been great having this on while working. Wow, we have a professional in the building, y'all.
You're welcome.
That's hilarious. We're in the background talking about accessibility as you do your accessibility work. I love it. For the people. All right, let's quickly see if we can look at this guild host. And then we're going to do a time check because this stream is not ending without us going to get this Barbie t-shirt.
Yes. Barbie t-shirt.
All right, let's
Braille
see where we
t-shirt.
get trapped here. Let's see if I can even get on here. What is this? Oh, I hate this so much. Is this how it's supposed to look? I know they're lying. Okay, hold on, y'all. Sorry, this might actually be a roast. I don't want this to be a mean roast, though, if you guys know them. It looks like it might be a small thing. I don't know. But what is this? So as I'm tabbing, let me make this smaller. I'm sorry. You're going to have to be able to see everything. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is the unhinged part. Y'all see this? How it's slanted? It's giving me vertigo. So there's like, how do I even explain this? There's it says Get Nation. It's like a pop-up it's not a pop-up. It's just a picture of a web page, but it's slanted backwards and you can tab through it. You can tab through whatever this is. So I'm confused about how they did this because these are elements that you can actually click on. Okay. Why did they do it like this? This is so interesting. So this is also, I guess, a good example of, can you click on this? Oh, it is selectable. Whoa. Okay. We're going to come back to this one. This would be so fun to roast, but we're going to be nice about it. So, I'm actually going to copy this and just throw this in here so I don't forget. Maybe Sunday we can do this one because I actually want to succinctly explain what's happening. happening. I've never seen a website like that. It's very creative. Okay. We talked about traps. We know all about them now. The keyboard in Aria, we're not even going to talk about it, actually. That has to be its own thing. But very quickly, Dorlin, what can you tell us about the keyboard in Aria? What to keep in mind, if you want.
Oh, gee. Woo. Well, definitely, with Aria, this is the part that is specifically for the assistive technology users and making sure that you've got things labeled as expanded or collapsed and that it's actually expanding or collapsing when you're doing that. And I know that part of this is going to come into like when you're making those drop down menus and having those tab index of, I believe it's the -1 value on a lot of those menu items, where then you're going to have to manage that with Aria though, so that it knows which one, when it's dropped down, when it's collapsed, which one's selected, that sort of thing. But I feel like this is definitely one for another day, and maybe one we get an expert on Aria to come chat about a little
Yeah.
bit.
Maybe Graham can come on. Well, if Graham's on, we're going to do some roasting. It'll be fun. Okay. Let's talk about really quickly instructions for keyboard users. The only thing you really have to remember is consider if there is a alternate way to get to something, that you tell a keyboard user how to get there. So what is the command they need to do? What is the action they need to do to get to whatever it is that they need to get to? Okay, we've only now got to touch, and touch is going to be short and sweet. Short and sweet. Because we'll probably do a stream on mobile by itself and really get into the nitty gritty of touch. But today, we're just giving you some considerations to consider.
And at that point, when we do go back into this, like, next year, after we finish up the topics we've already finished out, we'll try and do some actual demos with mobile then too. We're more set up to do web demos at the moment, though.
So touch, if anybody feels like doing some active studying and wants to tell us what they think you should be considering for touch, it's kind of the same as what we talked about already, right? We're thinking about individuals with tremors, weakness, dexterity issues, and then just everyone else who wants to use something that's functional to use. So when we think about those things, we're thinking about, so Liz Ginger said touch large target areas, including large margins. Yes. So think about me. I have the hands of a 5-year-old. You can't tell, but I have very, very small hands. And yeah, but I know people who have hands and sausage fingers. Their fingers are definitely sausages, and one of their gripes would be, "Oh, I'm touching all the stuff by accident," right?
My dad has very large hands. He is of an older generation who's just starting to get into mobile technology and touch, his tablet and his phone. And then he's also someone who had a stroke a couple of years ago and has a little bit of an impairment still from that with dexterity and tremors. And so it all comes together for him. Like, so this one for me, I don't know, touches home, if you will. But yeah, it's just like we've got so many people, and like especially if you don't have a huge device, some of these screens are relatively small compared to other ones. And so having that appropriate touch target and appropriate margin so you're not hitting something else instead. So important.
Yeah, my grandma has glaucoma, and that's also something that really impacts her ability to use her phone. So gestures, target size is really a big consideration. Just thinking about how big the tap areas should be. Let's talk about gestures. Gestures are anything like pinching, dragging and dropping, squiggling, anything that requires movement of the hand outside of just tapping. And I put traps here, but I don't remember what I meant by traps. Oh, I think by traps, I meant, I had a thought when I put this here. Now I can't remember. Let me look through my notes. But anything about gestures while I look up my notes?
Oh, for the touch thing that you were just talking about with not being locked, I think it's kind of the same thing as like your keyboard accessible. You know, you don't want any widget or whatever for you to click into it and your focus to get trapped in there. But then for gestures, yeah, you know, any specific sort of movement that needs to be made to accomplish an action. I think you
Right.
hit
Standard
on a lot of the big
movements.
ones,
Yeah.
like the pinch or yeah.
Or dragging. Dragging is a huge one. Dragging something requires so much hand-eye coordination and strength and dexterity. And, you know what I mean? There needs to be another way for the user to do whatever that action is. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about touching the screen reader. I just learned how to use, thanks to Dorlin, because I've been trying to do it, and then I just watched her actually, and I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. I've been doing it wrong. It's just a flick of the wrist. Flick of the wrist.
Right, it is. Yeah, we use a set of gestures, which I wonder how this plays into, you know, you not wanting to override other gestures. But so when you've got your screen reader flipped on a mobile device, it's going to override a lot of those gestures anyways, because it's going to expect you to be flicking or dragging your fingers or dragging a certain number of fingers, and interpreting those motions in a certain way. In terms of the screen readers available for mobile devices and touch devices, your tablets and all that too, I just want to give everyone a friendly reminder that they have built-in accessibility features and that you should go in, flip them on, and play around with it. Do a little testing of some page, and get familiar with it. It's not too scary. You'll be able to turn it back off again. Just remember the pathway you took to get there. You can actually turn voiceover on using Siri. You might be able to use turn talkback on using whatever voice assistant that Android device you use has. But essentially, if you have an iOS device, you're going to be able to flip on voiceover. And then if you're using an Android device, you'll be able to put on talkback and then navigate your phone with a series of gestures. And you should be using these to test, make sure that you're able to get to all the interactable elements. But you'll also usually be able to flick through non-interactable elements too. As I flick through a page, it'll take me to text content as well. See, I'm trying to think. I didn't make notes on. I'm so excited about touch screen readers and touch screens. Let's see, what else do I need to cover on that?
While you think, Mad Compo said, not even not even hand size. I found out last week that large nails are just harder to use devices. Yes. And they use the device differently. They're using like the pad of their finger and not the tip of their finger, which is a different motion. Also developed by IKEA said swiping. I didn't name that, but swiping is another gesture that is important to think about. Mad Compo said, please provide alternatives to gestures. Gesture interfaces are not intuitive and take a lot of cognitive load. Kathy said, totally agree with Mad Campos on gestures. Kiwi said, Liz said, gestures. My mom also has so many issues with those. Legally blind, low vision, right, and mobility issues from hypermobile ethmodanal syndrome. Kathy Code said it was such a big learning curve getting a new phone to try and learn the gestures. Liz said, that's awesome, Dorlin. I can't remember to what. Mod Compo said, I tested TalkBack recently and I get why people don't like it much. My gestures and actions were not working 80% of the time.
It's
Dev-
a hard one. With TalkBack, you'll actually make like angled movements and stuff, like you go down and then to the right. It's something that I haven't used in probably 2 years now, and it's something that I only use to be able to learn it and be able to help people get started with their devices when I was helping as an AT tutor. But it is definitely, I don't think it's as intuitive as the voiceover setup, but
devel-
a lot of people use it and like it, so it can be done.
yeah, one thing about a screen reader from a someone who's not like, I don't use the screen reader on my phone ever, other than when I'm messing around with it. It is jarring the first time you use it, especially if you have like any sensory issues or anything like that. But I say that only as a like, it'll be hard the first time because it feels overwhelming because it's not working or acting the way that you're used to. But after like the second time, after you like take a deep breath and just go through it, it becomes a little less jarring. So I say get in with both feet, see how you feel, see if you get that jarring feeling like I'm talking about. I say it because I've seen people freak out over accidentally activating it, and it's really so interesting to see how that affects different people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go back. I can't remember whose comment it was now, but someone commented, I think that their mother was legally blind and has some dexterity issues as well, and really like, that those gestures are hard. I think a lot of people struggle with them too, and there's started to be some products on the market, like for instance, the Blind Shell, which is essentially a smartphone that doesn't have a touchscreen, and instead you navigate it using, your standard numeric keypad and other few buttons you might have on a cell phone, and you're going to be able to still navigate your apps and the web via that. I don't think it supports nearly as many apps right now as your other operating systems, but it's getting there. It's probably, I'm sure it's essentially, an Android at its base, but you're not having to learn those gestures or execute those gestures. And it's some people have been really doing well with it. And with that type of phone, if I'm imagining that as long as you've got your keyboard access and operability under control, that they're going to be able to access those products. So just a tangent wanted to add.
Yeah, thank you. Developed by Akia said, I was using VoiceOver to test a page at work, and this is how I had to remind folks the importance of alt text because the screen reader was reading 1991 ab image.jpg instead of a proper name and description. Matt Campo said, and that is how you gently remind people to provide alt text. Use a screen reader loudly in the office. It took some time to get how to use TalkBack, a couple hours of trying to get it to recognize the gestures. Oh, man. Ugh. Sounds
Well,
like a lot. Okay, so we actually got to the end,
okay.
and it's time to buy a t-shirt. So I'm gonna, I have our big pictures up. I'm not sharing my screen anymore. So Dorlin, whenever you're ready, let me know, and hopefully this works. So we're gonna
All
do some
right.
hands-on testing right now.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Um, let's see. Where is that share option?
While we wait for Dorlin, if you're feeling study groupy and want to practice active recall as we like to do, let me know your favorite thing you learned today. What's one thing you walked away
I like
with?
that.
Or a couple things. Liz said favorite thing, Dorland's t-shirt.
Yay!
Seriously. Kathy said there's more screen reader shortcuts than just headers. Yeah, that's a good one actually.
All right. Got past all my nitro buttons.
Mad Campo said, good thing to study more traps.
Yeah, agreed. I want to see how they are being created, how to remedy them.
Because it happens so often, I'm like, there must be something specific to, I don't
I
know.
feel like what I learned today is that it's probably bad JavaScript or,
Right.
good intentions gone bad.
Right. Thanks for
Okay,
that one,
so
Xerxes.
okay, guys. So Africa, can you see my Mozilla Firefox?
Hold on. Let's see. I think I have to bring you over here. Sorry, I know Dorland's gone. Okay, and then I go to Dorland share. And I don't hear your JAWS.
Sure if people wanted my JAWS, because I know that's been a little bit too much verbosity. So I've got him in just one ear. I should be able to switch it and, well, let me try, see if people can hear it. Do you hear JAWS now?
No.
I think this is a thing we figured out where, because I'm sharing my sound, but you need to, because I'm coming through a different sound card or something right now that you needed to share instead. Remember, we had you sharing like the desktop or
Yeah,
I
no,
remember.
I am. But I can't hear your JAWS at all. Usually I can hear your JAWS and it doesn't go through to the other side. So I can't hear it at all for some reason this time around.
All right, well, let's see if maybe I'm not sharing my sound.
This website, oh my gosh. It's so cute. Is that an overlay button I see?
Oh dear Lord, I hope not.
I
It
think it
might
might
be.
be.
Remember, we like.
I'm going to start crying in the parking lot right now.
See, this is the problem though with overlays. This is the problem with inaccessible large websites that are there intended for people to sell their product or create content that like they don't want this to be inaccessible. They are actually making an effort hope to be accessible and are ending up with this end result. Sorry guys, soapboxes.
What's the website for this? I'm going to go on it myself because I'm
It's
curious.
it's ailedesign.com. So that's like Braille without the BR. So AILLEDESIGN.com. ailedesign.com.
Ooh, man. I
I don't
see a
know
lot of.
why. Hold on. Sorry. I don't think. I don't think I can change anything on my end. It says I'm sharing my sound and I have it in both ears, so. But oh, I wonder if I need to share. Let me try sharing something different instead of just that. And if this doesn't work, we'll.
Matt Campbell said, expectation, buy an accessible t-shirt, reality, find an overlay.
Oh,
This is
no,
a good
right?
example
And the
of
other night, I was so pulling my hair out on the mobile version of this, not on the part of her site where I was trying to check out, the pictures. They've got alt text, and there seemed to be headings, and I seemed to be able to access the tabs and stuff like that. But once I got into the part where I was actually purchasing a T-shirt and was routed to like a Shopify website, was when things really went downhill. But I block overlays. Like, and if something pops up and asks me to do it, I say no every time. And I'm pretty quick about it. So I might not have even noticed.
I'm about to see if this is an overlay. Actually, let's see. Oh man, it is. It is. I'm gonna share.
Well, so, um, do you want me to keep trying to share my sound? Do people want to hear the JAWS on this? Is that?
Yeah, I can
I
also
think that
turn
was the
JAWS
point.
on my
All right,
computer.
let me try real quick. Just I'm gonna stop streaming and start it again, and we'll see if we can get it going.
Okay.
All right.
All right. While Dorland does that, I'm just gonna show y'all the first part of the page. And let's see, why does that look weird? Okay. What is the first thing that you notice up here for those who can see it? The navigation area. Does this look good? Do we love it? There's Braille in the background. So it's a kind of busy background, black background on gray. And
All right.
got it,
Can
Dorland?
you? I don't know. Let me check. Can you hear it?
Dang, no, I can't.
Can you see it?
No, I don't see anything either. Well, maybe I have to do this. No, you're not sharing anymore.
Okay. No, it says I'm streaming.
Let's see. Let me double check. Watch. All right, here you go. Yay! Okay, it works now. Woohoo! We did it.
Oh, you can hear me? Still. Okay, phew. Okay,
just
let's
need
see.
a-
Let's turn this guy down.
Slower. Same page link, skip the content.
Is that a good rate?
Yeah. Can you make the sound louder, maybe? Oh,
Same page link, skip the content. Same page link, skip the content.
Is that
a little
better?
bit more.
Same page link, skip the content.
Okay, I think that's fine. I'm sure everyone else can hear you better than I can hear you.
Space.
It's just my sound, actually. I just remembered it's not
volume.
going to make a
J,
difference.
JAWS.
All right.
4%, 86%,
So
88%.
Kathy Code said, not sure about that color contrast. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So at the top,
Same page link, skip the content.
yeah, it's the back on the gray letters. There's gray letters, and the Braille is also gray, but the background on that the Braille is on is black. So the letters are white and gray, so you can't really see her navigation area. And there's also an overlay.
I think
AL design.
Oh,
design.
now you're gone.
Accessibility widget.
Let me
Click
see.
the open button.
Is this me doing this?
Skip the
Okay,
content.
there we go.
Accessibility widget. Click the open button.
yeah, it says accessibility widget, click to open, and you
Do
will
it.
never find me clicking to open.
Do it, please. Choose violence.
No, don't make me do it. All right.
Please.
First, let me run through real quick through this page, see what headings and alt text I have before I mess up my whole world over here, guys. I'm just gonna press H for heading.
AL design visited heading level 1 link. Wear your values on your sleeve. Literally. Heading level 2. Barbie trademark X AL design : inspiring story scarf accessory heading level 3 link. Barbie trademark X AL design as seen on heading level 2. Rail T-shirt blue gray heading level 3 rail pants red wide leg heading level 3
All
link.
right, I'm not gonna go all the way down. I don't know why. I'm gonna hit G for graphic.
AL design heading level 1 link graphic visited. Navigation image link graphic. Close up black and white photo of dark fabric with white rail beadwork graphic. Our story link graphic. Shop all link graphic. Left bracket inclusive right bracket graphic. Blind woman with white cane smiles while wearing thin black scarf accessory with white rail beadwork and the Barbie XL logo
That's
graphic.
so cool.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know what this overlay is about to do because this website's already all right? Like, I'm gonna hit F for form fields.
Email edit required invalid entry. Lang.
Oh, they want my email.
Subscribe button. Follow on button. Country/region combo. Wrapping to top. Accessibility widget. Click to open button. Search button collapsed as pop-up dialog.
See, so far everything's working for me, but all right.
Virtual find. JAWS find dialog. Find what colon
Oh,
combo. To set the value, use the arrow key.
there's our Control F initiating the JAWS find,
Okay.
as Xerxex
Activate
pointed
presenter.
out earlier.
Ale design.
Okay,
Accessibility widget. Click to open button.
I'm gonna press it.
Enter. Dialog. Page has 4 headings and 1 link. Heading level 2 accessibility options. Language settings button. Close accessibility widget button. Heading level 3 content. Bigger text button. Bigger cursor button. Tooltips button. Line height button. Hide images button. Readable fonts button. Dyslexic font button. Stop animations button. Heading level 3 colors invert colors button. Brightness button. Contrast button. Grayscale button. Saturation button. Heading level 3 navigation reading line button. Highlight links button. Reading mask button. Page structure button. Reset settings button. Accessibility statement button. Link to accessibly app.
Accessibly.
Accessibly, yeah, they're one of the big ones. So the thing about everything on here, they're nice to have, sure, but most of the stuff that's on the accessibility options should really just already exist on the page so that you don't have to use them. So that's really the main thing. Irmarus said topography over a background image in addition to that is always a bad idea. Yeah, we like blank backgrounds over text so that it's not too jarring. But I really wanted y'all to see, because we talk about overlays a lot. And this is basically what an overlay does. It'll do something to the page to make it a little different and more accessible for whoever it is they think needs it to be a little bit more accessible. And
This one is interesting. Oh, well, so this one pops up a list of options for me to select from. And the reason I'm burnt, and I don't click these buttons is because in the early days, I was naive and thought, oh, let me say yes to this. And it completely changed how the page interacted. It tried to fill in certain things. I don't know what it was doing, but it did not give me a list of options. It just changed the page and I couldn't figure out how to get it to change back. And so I don't push these buttons anymore, but I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised that it is just a list of options. And now I'm hopefully going to be able to close it and go back to life as usual.
Yeah, I think so. This one at least gives you the choice of a bunch of different things. My fear is that sometimes when you click on those different things, the page does change and becomes sometimes unusable. But I haven't used this one. It honestly doesn't look too bad, but I don't know.
Are there any of these options that you or someone in the chat wants me to click on, or should I just go ahead and close this out?
Unless someone says something and we'll go back to it. If they do, you can close it out because I want you to get into that form field. Oh, cute. Liz said try page structure. I don't really know what that does. That's a good one.
All right, let's see. What were these? Were these?
Heading level 2 accessibility. Language settings. Close accessibility widget button.
Oh,
Language settings button. Close accessibility. Heading level 3 content.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Colors heading level. Navigation heading level. Wrapping to top. Accessibility options.
Oh, wait.
Content heading. Colors heading level 3. Navigation heading level 3.
Did you say navigate? Wait, which one was I going to? I feel like it
Page
didn't actually hide
structure.
up.
Yeah, it's
Page
down there.
structure.
Navigation. Reading line but highlight links but reading mask but page structure button.
Oh, it's a button. Okay, here we go.
Enter. Dialog list with 3 items. Skip the title button to activate. Press enter.
Skip to title.
Skip the title
Oh,
button.
this is nutty.
Enter. Skip the title button. Landmarks button. Skip the title button. Enter. Skip the title button.
Well, and the skip to title button doesn't work.
Yeah.
Landmarks button.
Yikes.
Let's try landmarks.
Landmarks button to activate. Press enter. Go to link button. Landmarks button. Go to link but list end. List of 29 list end. List of 20 H2. Same page link country/region. H1. H2.
What is this
H2.
website called again?
Oh my god, this is
Literally,
awful.
literally.
There's just like a list of... See, my screen reader already did this for me. When I went through with my H key, I was already able to identify these.
Like, who is this for? That's what I'm like, who is this for? All right. Well, let's
All
not
right.
see.
How
We're
do
gonna
I get
come
away
back to
with
this.
this? All right, how do
Now
I
we're
get out
going
of
to see
this?
if you can even get out of it.
Reset
Let's
settings
see.
button. Reset settings button.
Reset settings button.
Enter.
Yay.
Reset settings button to activate. Press enter.
Did it
Reset
work?
settings button. Accessibility
Oh my
statement button.
gosh.
Reset
This might
settings
not-
button.
Did
Enter.
it work?
Space.
No.
Oh my god, that's
List
gonna make me
end.
cry.
Reset settings button. Enter.
All right, let's
Accessibility
see.
statement button. Wrapping to top. Back button. Language settings button. Back button.
Back button?
Enter. Back button to activate. Press enter.
There's a close button.
Back button. Enter.
Is there?
Language settings button. Close accessibility widget button.
Oh, there it is.
Enter. Accessibility widget. Click the open button to activate. Press enter. Same page link. Skip the content.
Oh, it's gone. Yay. Or I think it is. All right. Let's go. Should I go to the t-shirt I have for example's sake?
Go to
or-
shop. I want to just see the stuff.
Okay, so I'll start tabbing.
Tab. Banner region. Ale design heading level 1 link graphic visited. Tab. Navigation region. List with 7 items. Skip the menu button to activate. Press enter. Skip the menu button to activate. Tab. Skip the content button to add tab. Skip the footer button. Tab. Press enter to open accessibility widget button to activate. Tab. Skip the content same page link. Tab. Banner region. Ale design heading level 1 link graphic visited. Tab. Navigation region. List with 7 items. Home current page link. Link about.
I'm going to use my arrow keys because it doesn't seem to be going to these.
Link shop. And shop link.
That was
Shop
weird.
Ale design. Shop all ale design. Page has 5 regions, 19 headings, and 36 links. There are 3 smart glance highlights on this page. Shop all ale design. Accessibility widget. Click the open button. Say open.
No, we will not. All right. So let's see. I'm going to press H for heading. Get us down.
Army trademark ale design classic chevron dress join waitlist heading level 3 link.
We could join the wait list for the chevron Barbie dress.
Ooh.
I guess I'll arrow down. I don't know how you'd like me to navigate the page.
Regular price $180.
Arrow
Blind woman with white cane
probably.
smiles while wearing thin black scarf accessory with white rail beadwork and the Barbie XL logo. Graphic.
Oh, I like the alt text on that. I'll press arrow down again.
Heading level 3 link Barbie trademark XL design inspiring story scarf accessory.
Okay, so now we're on a new item.
Regular price $80. Editorial photo of a blind woman posing fiercely. She wears a bright pink t-shirt paired with a bright pink slip skirt, chain belt, silver jewelry, and black leather jacket. Graphic.
Oh, I love that alt text. That like really captured the vibe of it too, with just
Oh,
like
that's
that
the one you're
fiercely
trying to
word.
get.
Is this what I'm trying to get? I don't
I
know if
think
I'm trying to
so.
get any. I think
Editorial photo of a blind
This
woman posing
Barbie-
fiercely. She wears a bright pink t-shirt.
oh, that's the one I have on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one we're gonna click on. So let me arrow down one more time.
Heading level 3 link Barbie trademark XL design this Barbie is inclusive t-shirt. Regular price $60.
Oh, so the graphic is above the heading.
Young
I
girl
get
sits
it.
on the pink polka dot floor laughing and she is wearing a bright pink
Yes.
t-shirt with
Okay, and so that's going to be the alt text for the girl. All right, so I'm going to go back up.
regular price $60. Heading level 3 link Barbie trademark XL design this Barbie is inclusive. Enter.
All right, I'm hitting enter on our link here.
It says regular price $60.
Paired with a bright pink slip skirt, chain belt, silver jewelry, and black leather jacket. Barbie trademark XL design Barbie trademark.
But it doesn't say that visually.
Not cheap to look good. I think it does. I feel like I've heard.
Barbie trademark XL design
No, it
this
doesn't
Barbie is
say it
inclusive
visually. It
t-shirt.
doesn't say it visually. It's not. It doesn't say regular price. It just says $60 USD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
I actually bet that's part of something that's built into this site because I've seen on other Shopify sites where something will be on sale and it does read regular price and then it'll read discounted price. I wonder if it's like, some kind of a template where you're sitting this in that and unless there's a sale, maybe it wouldn't display visually.
Right.
I don't know. That's interesting. All right, let's get down into this this site. I'll hit H for heading.
Barbie trademark XL design this Barbie is inclusive t-shirt heading level 1. Regular price $60.
So where it reads regular price there, you just see $60. That's interesting.
Link shipping.
Link shipping.
Calculated at checkout. Pay in 4 interest-free installments of $15.00 with Shop Pay graphic. Learn more button as pop-up dialog.
Do we want to see if their dialogue pop-up works?
Yeah.
Or just get into the form? All
Space.
right.
Main region. Learn more button as pop-up dialog. To activate, press enter. Elevate your wardrobe with a piece that speaks volumes in both design and purpose.
Oh, I'm crying.
Side chart
Okay,
button
wait.
as pop-up dialog.
Sorry. The thing that I was talking about, it's doing it. There's the pop-up, but you're behind the pop-up. Why?
Oh, so my focus has not been restricted to our dialogue box here, huh?
Man, in the wild.
This is perfect.
I know, right?
All right. I'm going to just arrow down, I guess.
Group start. Size.
But we can't see.
Oh, let me see if I can find a close button.
Size chart button. Learn more button as pop-up dialog.
You're behind it. Oh, you can click on that again, maybe.
Enter.
Did it-
Damn. No.
It didn't drop it. Can
Escape.
I hit escape?
Yeah,
Hear
now it
more
did
button
it.
as pop-up dialog.
Okay.
Escape.
What'd you
Elevate
do?
your wardrobe with a piece that speaks.
I hit escape, which is a standard way to
Yeah, that's good.
dismiss a dialog box, but my focus should have been restricted to it. Anywho, let's check out this cool t-shirt.
Size chart button as pop-up dialog.
I'm guessing their size chart probably works the same way. Since
start.
it's pop-up dialog.
Size.
Wait.
Access radio
Size
button.
chart. Yeah, do that. Because, like,
Size.
how
Group
would
start.
you
Size
navigate
chart
a
button as
size
pop-up
chart?
dialog. Elevate your
Oh,
wardrobe.
that's a
Size
good
chart button as
question.
pop-up dialog.
A lot of times they're a
Enter.
table.
Dialog. To activate, press enter.
It's a table, but
Size chart button as pop-up dialog. Group start. Size. Access radio button checked.
Oh,
1
it
of 7.
didn't take me into that dialog box,
Oh,
though. Let
no,
me
it
see.
didn't.
Table with 8
You-
columns and 5
Wait.
rows. Column 1. Row 1. Unisex
Yes.
sizes.
So I just hit my shortcut key T for tables. That's a shortcut for JAWS. I don't know if NVDA, I think NVDA does use the same one for tables. I'm not entirely sure. But so I've got my size chart. So I'm now going to use my table reading commands to read this, which for JAWS is Control and Alt, and then your arrow keys to navigate through it.
Width row 2. Unisex sizes row 1. XS column 2. S column 3. M column 4. L column 5. XL column 6. 2XL column 7. 3XL column 8. End of row.
Cool, it gets up to 3XL. I'm going to press Home with my Control and Alt to get to the top of my table again.
Unisex sizes column 1.
And
row 1.
now I'm going to go down my left-hand side here.
Width row 2.
We've got width,
Length row 3.
not left-hand side, first column.
Width row 2. Length row 3. Sleeve length row 4. Numeric sizes row 5. Bottom of column.
All right. And so, how I would probably navigate this. And these can be hard to navigate on mobile devices, just tables in general, because you don't have your keyboard commands. But I'll normally just figure out which one I want to look at and go to it and then figure out what column it is and listen to the correct information as my screen reader reads it on a mobile device. But here I'll go to like
S column 3.
S, so I know small, and then I'll arrow down from here.
18 quote row 2.
It's saying row 2 would be ideal if it read width for 18 here, but I remember it was width.
25 quote row 3.
25 quote, I don't remember which that one was, so I'll go left.
20 length column 1.
That's length.
24.5. 25 quote column
Over.
3. 5.75.
But it's navigable, so I could figure out any information I wanted to get from it. So that's pretty cool.
Because sometimes it's just a picture
Oh yeah, absolutely.
with
let's
no alt
see.
text, I'm sure.
How are we going to close this guy?
Close button.
Escape?
Oh, close.
Space.
Oh,
Main
nice.
region. Size chart button as pop-up dialog.
Oh, I could have tried that first. Okay, so that was our size chart. So I'll keep arrowing down.
Group start. Size. Access radio button checked. 1 of 7.
All right, that one's already checked.
S radio button not checked. 2 of 7.
Let's try checking another one.
Space. S radio button checked. 2 of 7. Regular price $60 US dollars.
So it announced the state change to me. That's cool.
M radio button not checked. 3 of 7.
I'll try one more
Space.
time.
M radio button checked. 3 of 7. Regular price $60 US dollars. M radio button checked.
And then I'm going to tab from here. It shouldn't move me to the next radio button since they should be grouped together, but we'll see where it moves me.
Tab. Color colon Barbie pink group. Barbie pink radio button checked. 1 of 1.
Cool. So it did move me to the next field of radio buttons, which is the color, which we only have one choice of here. I'm actually going to press escape to make sure I'm out of forms mode,
Escape.
which I guess I wasn't in. And I'm going to arrow up and make sure I didn't miss any content. That's just kind of what I do.
Color colon Barbie pink group start. Group end. 3XL radio button not checked.
All right,
Group
cool.
end.
So that was the end of our sizes. And so now we've got our color.
Color colon Barbie pink. Barbie pink radio button checked. 1 of 1. Group end.
The only option you would need.
Separator.
All right. Got a separator there. And I am just using my arrow down key here.
Do you require accessible packaging?
Oh, I love this part, guys.
That's so
She
cool.
sent Braille with the t-shirt and another shirt I got came folded up in a beautiful piece of tissue paper with a sticker on it and braille with washing instructions and all about it and everything. It's so cool. All right, anyway, I
Do
digress.
you require accessible packaging?
Let's arrow down.
Combo box collapsed.
We've got a kind of parsing issue here. This blank space
Do
in
you require accessible
between.
packaging?
I just hit the arrow key and JAWS doesn't read anything. I'll hit it again
Combo box collapsed.
and I'm at the combo box. So I'm going to expand this by hitting space.
Space. Unavailable 1 of 4. To move to an item, press the arrow keys. No 2 of 4. Yes dash large print 3 of 4.
Oh, she has an enlarged print too.
Yes dash braille 4 of 4.
I'm going to select
Enter.
braille.
Tab panel frame main region. Do you require accessible packaging? Combo box. Yes dash braille. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
It just told me to use the arrow key, so I think I'm probably in forums mode, so I'm going to press escape to make sure.
Escape. Virtual PC cursor.
You guys heard that little pop. Let me know I got out of forums mode, so I'm no longer interacting with that combo box. So I'm going to now be able to
That's what
use my
that
arrow
noise
keys.
is? Oh my
Yep.
God. I had no clue. I just always hear it and never think about it.
It's funny. We actually had a issue come up with that with another auditor recently where it's like, well, because it made this noise, I know I've now exited forums mode. I'm not interacting with that element anymore. And it's just kind of a known thing. You know, it's a common, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, but common convention.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's see. Where am I? I'm going to press my JAWS key plus up arrow to say line.
Do you require accessible packaging? Combo box. Yes dash braille.
That's right. That's where I was at. I'm going to keep arrowing down.
Quantity. Decreased quantity for Barbie trademark Exhale design : this Barbie is inclusive T dash shirt button.
Oh, I love that it's read the decrease for this t-shirt is accessible or the t-shirt is inclusive button instead of saying decrease button. There's so many buttons out there that'll just say increase or decrease, which isn't a big deal if you're on a page where there's a single item, but you get in onto a long page with items like or buttons like that and it can be really hard to tell which one you're increasing, which one you're decreasing. I've definitely bought things I didn't mean to buy before as a result. Okay, I digress again. I will arrow down again.
Quantity.
And again.
One edit spin box.
So this says it's a spin box, so I should be able to press space to interact with it.
Space. Quantity edit spin box. 1. To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value.
I'm going to start arrowing up.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So I could buy
9,
all the Barbie
10.
t-shirts.
T-shirts for everyone.
End blank. 11.
Right?
End blank. 12. 13.
Oh, when I press end, it won't let me go back to the bottom of this list like 1. So that's kind of a
12,
bottom
11.
or a bummer, but
10, 9,
that's okay.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I guess that makes sense. They're essentially radio buttons at this point. Okay, so I just want 1.
Escape. Virtual PC cursor.
I'm gonna arrow again.
Increased quantity for Barbie trademark Exhale design : this Barbie is inclusive T dash shirt button.
Let me actually hit this button and make sure it changes my quantity to 2.
Enter. Increased quantity for Barbie trademark Exhale design : this Barbie is inclusive T dash shirt button. To activate, press enter.
All right, I'm gonna shift tab back into where I know my quantity field is.
Shift tab. Skip the menu button. To activate, press enter.
Oh no, what happened to my focus order? Oh dear.
Tab. Skip the content button. To activate, press enter.
All right, it might be because I'd been using my arrow keys. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to quickly navigate down there. I know I hit a combo box.
Packaging combo box collapse.
So I hit C for combo box, and then I'm just going to hit F for form field.
Decreased quantity for Barbie trademark Exhale design : this Barbie quantity edit spin box 2.
Well, it did change it to 2, so it worked. I'm going to hit space to interact with this field, and you're going to hear that pop again. That's letting me know I'm going into forms mode.
Space main region quantity edit spin box.
From here, I'm going to try and shift tab to that decrease quantity button. I'm really hoping it's going to take me there.
Shift tab. Decreased quantity for Barbie trademark Exhale design : this Barbie is inclusive T dash shirt button. To activate, press
Okay,
enter.
it did.
Enter.
I think the reason when I shift tabbed before was maybe because I'd been arrowing. It might not have been actually a focus order issue. I think it was just a issue with the way my screen reader was interacting with the page at the time. So I'll tab to make sure it decreased it to 1.
Tab quantity edit spin box 1. To set the value, use the arrow
Right.
keys or type the value.
I'm going to keep tabbing now.
Tab. Increased quantity for Barbie trademark XL design. Tab. Add to cart button to activate. Press enter.
All right, let's add to cart.
Enter.
The moment we've been waiting for. Okay, so I got a dialog box.
Heading level 2 item added to your cart. Close button. Editorial photo of a blind woman posing fiercely. She wears a bright pink.
Am I outside of the box again, Africa?
Heading level 3 Barbie
No.
editorial
We are
close
coming
button.
up on 2 hours though.
Enter.
Oh,
Main
jeez.
menu. Add
Okay, guys.
to activate. Press enter.
So let's try and put in some payment info real quick and see how the forms
Add to
work.
cart button.
Did it put it in my cart? I think it did. It told. That's right. It just told me it did. So
Yeah,
let's see
you
if I
have
can
one
figure out how to
thing.
get to my cart.
Buy now with shop pay button. More payment options button. Materials button. Style details button collapsed.
I'm gonna do my little find trick.
JAWS find dialog. Find what colon edit combo to C A R T. Cart enter. Add to cart button to activate. Press enter. Add to
Try
find
again.
what colon enter. Add to cart button to activate. Buy now with shop pay more. Payment heading level 2. What does the braille say?
Does the cart not? All right, I'm gonna have to go find my cart now.
Tab to activate. Press enter. Tab. Style details button. Tab. Wash instructions. Tab. Worldwide shipping button. Tab. Shop youth size link. Tab. Accessible conversation starter button. Tab. Writer view button.
Man, where's the? I'm going back up to the top because it doesn't seem like I should be this far down to be able to find my cart. Just as a user,
Barbie
this is what I would do.
colon is Barb.
Where's this cart?
Tab. Skip the menu button to activate. Press enter. Tab. Skip the content button to
icon. Kathy
tab.
said.
Skip the footer button to
That's probably why you can't
skip
find
the footer
it
button. Skip the footer
by
button.
Control
Tab.
F.
Press enter to open accessible. Tab. Skip
Bye,
the
Mad
content link.
Combos.
Hi, thanks for hanging out. Let me hit B then, see if I can find it, if it looks like an icon.
Search button collapse. Open Media 1 and Modal. Open Media 2. Open Media 3 and Modal button. Open Media 4 and Modal button. As Open Media 5 and Modal button. As Open Media 6 and Modal button. As pop up to Open Media 7 and Modal. Play video. Blind model Chelsea moves around on set to showcase different sides and learn more button. As pop up to size chart button. As decreased quantity. Increased quantity for add to cart button. Buy now with shop. More payment options. Materials button. Style details
Wouldn't
button.
you go
Wash
to more
instructions
payment
button.
options so you can get it?
Worldwide shipping button. 11 reviews with 5.
No, I mean,
No,
what I
shit.
did before was I went to
Zero reviews.
cart, which was like a button I found floating somewhere on the mobile.
It's all the way at the top. And
Barbie trademark exhaled. Link skip the content. Link about. Link a scene on. Link blog.
Yeah.
Link contact. Link graphic navigation image. Link cart one item.
Oh, there's our cart. It's a
one item link. Your shopping cart and dash design M dash
Which
available
makes
box.
sense.
Your
I mean, it
shopping
is
cart and
taking me
dash
to a
design.
different
Shopping
page.
cart
It ought
and
to be a
dash
link.
page has 5 regions, 5 headings, and 25 links. There are 5 smart glance highlights on this page. Your shopping cart and dash design. Accessibility widget. Click to open.
All right, I'm going to hit F for my form fields.
Search button collapse at decreased quantity for Barbie trademark exhaled. Quantity for Barbie trademark exhaled design colon is increased quantity checkout button.
All right, let's go check out.
Enter. Main region. Checkout button to activate. Press enter. Checkout dash ale design. Checkout dash ale design. Main region. Email edit. And type in text. Forms mode.
Okay, so I don't know why it's asking for my email, so I'm going to press escape and arrow up from here.
Escape. Virtual PC cursor. Edit. Email. Email. Heading level 2 contact. Google Pay button. Link shop pay. Heading level 2 express checkout.
Oh, I hate that it started my focus down in that edit box, but part of that is probably it, just the way it interacts with my screen reader. So let's see here. I'm going to go again to the top of my page since it didn't start me at the top.
Checkout dash ale design.
And H for heading.
Ale design checkout heading level 1.
And arrow down.
Visited link aledison.com. Blank. Visited link cart. Main region heading level 2 express checkout. Link shop pay.
So I think here I could hit
Google Pay button.
one of these if I was set up with them, but I'm not on here. And we just want to try and put in a fake
Heading level 2 contact.
info anyway. So contact.
Email.
All right, I'm going to start tabbing now.
Tab. Main region. Email edit. Blank. Type in TNANK. Tag at AEESOME. Awesome. COM. Com. Tab. Email me with news and offers. Checkbox checked. A clear checkmark. Press space bar.
And that's already checked, but I'll uncheck it to make sure that function works.
Space. Not checked.
Open it, unchecked it, and it announced its state change. That's beautiful. I'm going to recheck it
Space. Checked.
because Tank wants all the emails.
Tab. Shipping address region. Country/region combo box required. United States. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
All right, and so it's dropped me into a combo box, so I'm going to use my arrow keys like it instructed.
Afghanistan. Island Islands. Albania.
And I should be able to...
Price colon $83 Canadian dollars. Updated total price colon $115 Canadian dollars. Updated shipping method.
Oh,
First class
no.
national.
I didn't press anything for it to start updating that, so it must be dynamically updating as in this list.
Algeria.
I should be able to hit
Updated
like
total
for...
price colon $83 Canadian.
Well, we know how much it is in Canadian now. I should be able to navigate this list with first letter navigation. Since it wants to tell us Canadian, let's hit C for Canada.
C. Cambodia. C. Updated total price $83 Canadian dollars. Cameroon.
Oh my gosh. See, this is where things started getting funky before. I think it just started like probably trying to auto update and things. But let me go back. We want US anyway.
United States.
So let's hit enter. I'm going to hit tab, take us to our next form field.
Tab. First name edit required invalid entry. Land type in text. T or A N K.
Oh, Kathy
First
said
name edit
she
required
thinks
tag.
Shopify carts just autofocus on the email field during checkout.
That might be. It was also, I mean, it was the first form field I could have filled out. A lot of times when there's an edit field in a page, it will drop me in there first. I think it's probably because of my settings. So I wouldn't ding them for
First
it.
name edit required tag.
All right, so we got tank.
Tab. Last name edit required invalid entry. Land type in text. G U I D E. Guide tab. Company left parent optional right parent edit. Land type in text.
That one says it's optional. I like that. I'm going to shift tab though to see if the last one said required because I wasn't paying attention.
Shift tab. Last name edit required. Guide type in
It
text.
does. That's cool. How's the required indicated visually? Is there an asterisk or is there a color?
There's a nothing.
Nothing.
Does it say are you talking about for last name?
Last name is required according to my screen reader. So this is
Can
one of
you
the
shift tab real quick? Let me see something.
I would love to.
Shift tab. First name edit required. Tag type in text.
This one's required.
Okay,
as well.
go past last name.
Tab.
One.
Last name edit required. Tab. Company left parent optional right
No,
parent
there's
edit.
no
Land type in
indication.
text.
And this one's
I wouldn't
optional.
have known
Interesting. That's interesting. This
Oh,
is
no,
one
it
of those
says
rare
required.
occasions.
Go back. Sorry.
Oh, it does?
Go back.
Shift tab. Last name edit required. Guide type in text.
Delete it.
Land required invalid entry.
Weird. Okay, then shift tab.
Shift tab. First name edit required. Tag type in text.
Okay, is that because now
Tab. Last name edit required invalid entry.
so
Land, enter
now
last name,
that
type
you
in text.
deleted everything and you went back, now it's red and it says enter a last name, but it doesn't say like required. It's just in
And this-
red.
This is kind of this is a problem here. It's doing form validation before I've tried to submit it. You know, and it's trying to be smarter than me, but it definitely throws things off because now I've got an invalid form field. But that I think on the mobile app, it kept trying to yank my focus up if there was something missing.
But
I'll
also
stop assuming though.
it shows it tells you things that are optional. So the cognitive leap is that anything that doesn't have optional by it is required.
Fair enough. All right.
Thanks,
well.
Kathy.
Shift tab. First name edit required. Tag
All right.
type
So we
in
got tank, and we
text.
got
Last name edit required invalid.
you guides.
S. Guides tab. Company left parent optional right parent edit. Land
And
type in text.
he works for
M,
me.
Me tab. Address edit combo. Collapse required invalid entry. Land. To set the value, use the arrow key. Type the value.
All right, I didn't hear what it said, so I should be able to hit my JAWS key and up arrow to repeat not only like the placeholder text, but the name of the field.
Land.
But I'm just getting blank because they probably haven't. There's something not quite right about this field. I'll shift tab
Shift tab. Company left parent optional
and
right
I'll
parent.
tab again so that I can rehear what the info was.
Tab. Address edit combo. Collapse required invalid entry. Land. To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value.
All right, our address. How about 1, 2, 3.
Expanded required. 123. P-U-P-P-Y. Puppy.
Puppy Lane.
L-A-N-E.
Puppy Lane.
Lane, tab, apartment, suite, etc. Left parent optional, right parent edit. Land, type in
This
text.
one's optional, but clearly he's got apartment
42.
42.
42, tab, city edit
So
required. invalid entry. Land,
everything
type in text.
city.
P-U-P-P-Y-T-O-N. Puppy Town, tab, state combo box required invalid entry. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
All right. Let's see. Is it going to allow me to type? Well, it told me there's a combo box here, so I'm going to pop that open. This time not with space like I did before, but with my alt down arrow.
Open list box.
And now it's not working right. It didn't like that command. I'm going to shift tab.
Shift tab.
Oh man, I'm going to have to hit escape. Nothing's reading anymore. My arrow keys aren't reading anything.
Escape. Virtual PC cursor.
All right, let's see. I don't know what was wrong with that,
Zip code.
but
Elapsed required invalid entry combo box.
all right, let's try pressing space
Space.
and then arrowing down.
Alabama required.
All right, now it'll let me do it. And Puppy Town.
D. Delaware. D.
Oh, they don't have
Delaware.
District of Columbia listed. They probably have it under Washington, D.C.
W. Washington. W. Washington, D.C.
They do.
W. Enter. State combo box required Washington, D.C.
Puppy Town, Washington, D.C.
Tab. Zip code edit required invalid entry. Lang. Type in text. 1. Enter a valid zip code for Washington, D.C. Required invalid entry.
Oh, snaps.
Total price colon
They're
dollar
gonna try and fact check me on my DC zip codes.
One.
Alright,
Required.
that's fine.
Lang.
We'll go with
Lang.
20001.
Zip code edit required 20001. Updated total price colon $66 US dollars and 31 cents. Updated shipping method colon ground advantage.
Okay, so it's updating the shipping like dynamically, which is, and I'm getting some kind of a, Aria Live message going on when that happens, I guess. All right, so let's see. I'm going to insert up arrow again because I forget where I am.
Zip code edit required 20001.
All right, I'm going to tab.
Tab. Phone left parent optional right parent edit. Lang. Type in text.
If that's, Tank doesn't have a phone. Puppies
Well,
can't
it's
use
optional.
phones.
Skip it because I'm
Tab.
about to tap
More
out.
information button in case we.
Okay.
More information
I can't
button
even
in
sit
case we
down
need to
anymore. I'm
contact.
standing up.
Tab. Choose a shipping method group. USPS ground advantage radio button checked 1 of 4.
All right, well, I can arrow through these.
USPS ground advantage.
Honestly, I think the mobile site's much more problematic.
UPS registered ground radio button not checked 2 of 4. Tab. Payment region. Choose a payment credit shift tab. Shipping address region. Choose a shipping method group. USPS ground advantage radio button checked 1 of 4. Space.
All right, that one's checked.
Tab. Payment region. Choose a payment method group. Credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover plus free radio button checked 1 of 2.
All right, that one's already checked.
Tab. Credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover toggle button pressed. To toggle the state press space bar. ELO JCB and Yonpay.
Whoa. I don't know what it just read to me.
Plus 3 toggle button pressed. Shift tab. Credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover plus free radio button checked 1 of 2. Tab. Credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover toggle button pressed. To toggle the state press space bar. ELO JCB and Yonpay.
I don't know why it's reading that. That sounds like it's reading something twice. I'm going to tab again.
Required invalid entry. Field container for colon card number frame. Card number edit. Required invalid entry. Lang. Type in text.
All right, and then we've got our card number here, so we know they're going to get probably fussy about.
1.
Sorry, guys.
Valid card number. Required invalid entry. Field container for colon expiration date. Left parent MMs.
Oh, yeah, they want a valid. So this is part of the thing. Like, they are going to be, when it was auto validating things, as I was trying to type in my info, I was really struggling with it on the mobile. But I know you're ready to tap out, Africa, and it's going to require me to kind of put in more than just gobbledygook as we go. Do you want me to just try and submit it as it is and see what errors we get, or how do you want to proceed?
Well, I definitely am kind of done for the day. So
That's
I guess
fair. We've been at it for a while.
yeah, I've been
but
sitting
we
in my chair all day for work as well, and so I'm having trouble. My back has been hurting really bad lately. Let's see what it does. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what it says because all of this is fake. So it's gonna come back with stuff or not let you submit it at all.
Let's see. So I just tabbed through real quick.
More information button. 3 tab. Field container. Tab. Use shipping address billing address checkbox.
Let's
Tab.
see.
Save my information for a faster check. Tab. Pay now button to activate.
Wait.
Shift tab. Save my information for a faster checkout. Checkbox not checked. To check
Okay, good. I want to make sure that wasn't checked. I don't want them saving this info.
Tab. Pay now button to activate. Press enter.
Is the pay now button what I want to
Pay now
press?
button.
Yep.
Secure and encrypted. Pay now button. Main region N.
See, now that's a little confusing to me because sometimes there's like pay now options with other, like the Google Pay or the Apple Pay.
Pay now button.
All right. Anyway, here we go. We'll hit it.
Enter and guides. Me. Save address. Save address. Save address. Open menu. Save info to Firefox so you can fill out forms.
No.
Lang.
Oh no. How do I get to that dialogue?
F6.
Yep,
Open menu button to
there you
F6.
go.
Checkout dash ale design document.
Oh
F6.
my
Main region.
gosh.
Payment region.
You're
Choose
behind
Oh
it.
my
True.
goodness.
F6. Enter a valid card number. Required invalid entry. Field container for colon expiration date left parent mm/yy right parent frame. Expiration date left parent mm/yy right parent edit. Blank.
Well, it's given us some errors and stuff
Blank.
here. And it seems to have dropped me into the first field where I had an error, I'm guessing, which is good. That's fine. And it does seem to announce everything via, ARIA, a live region there when it happened or something happened where it read me the message, even though it dropped me in here. But yeah, Hank doesn't need to buy this t-shirt because we've already got one. But it's a really cool t-shirt, really cool site. I'm happy actually to see how much better it's working on the mobile or on the web version of it than it is on mobile. But one of the things that we kind of covered or kind of mentioned at some point mid thing, but we maybe should have started this whole thing with is that whatever you're designing needs to be accessible to all three of these things we've touched on, keyboard, touch, mouse. Users truly need to be able to access the information with whichever device they want to, whatever assistive technologies they need to or want to use. And so, I'm really happy that this Shopify site works better on the desktop, and I might do my future shopping on desktop, but you know how it is on the phone. It's just easy to click things and spontaneously buy something. I don't often sit down on my computer and spontaneously buy something. So another kind of argument for making your stuff accessible in order to get more business. But I don't know. Maybe we'll touch back on this when we do our mobile thing in a few months.
Yeah. Well, y'all, it's
Wow.
been real.
We're
We
good.
did about 45 minutes longer than we meant to, but it's all good because we got through everything. And that in and of itself is a small miracle. So that means our next meeting is going to be the fourth Sunday, which is our office hours. Office hours will be for any questions that you need, any questions that you have, any resources that you want from us, and really just a chill time to roast websites. Either we're gonna either drag a big company, or we're gonna just big up the little guy and give some pointers. So that's what we'll be doing. I think.
I think
Or is
our
it
next
Braille?
stream
Oh
is
shit!
our
Braille.
next stream is Braille.
Oh my goodness.
On I think it's like the 22nd, Sunday the 22nd is when we
Yeah.
scheduled that in for.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
We'll talk
go
more
get your
about
Braille
Braille.
t-shirts. No. No, we'll that's the next one though. And then after that I guess off hours.
Yeah. Thanks for coming through Monday, Liz, Kathy, everybody who's still here with us after all this time. We're definitely going to be doing Braille. We're going to talk more about Braille. I actually wish we did this time, but I have to tap out or I'm going to melt in this chair live on Twitch. But
No.
we'll see you guys, and we'll give you more information in the Slack group. So if you are not part of the Slack group, hopefully someone will throw the link in there or find me on LinkedIn or Twitter or somewhere and ask me for it. See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye everyone.